Massive people's movement after that in Tamil Nadu witnessed over the issue of Jallikattu. The Kolaveri battle now seems to be brewing once again. Traders have taken on the big beverage giants like Pepsi and Coca Cola. Called for a boycott of both those drinks. A large number of traders, even though they are highly incentivized, have pulled these drinks off their shelves because they feel that the producers of these drinks in fact consume a lot of groundwater which is being wasted. There you can see those pictures, bottles of Coke, Pepsi products manufactured by these two cola giants being smashed on the streets. It's and the pun is intended, kolaveri of another kind, a very fizzy, volatile kolaveri. But the fact is that at the end of the day, they believe that the time has come to promote indigenous products. 3 or 4 other colas that are manufactured in the state which need to be actually consumed and should be given a fair chance. Now, 2,000 families are directly employed by Coca Cola and PepsiCo in Tamil Nadu. And if these plants or these products are taken off the shelves, it could very well be that these plants might shut down and 2,000 families directly employed by Coca Cola and Pepsi might lose their jobs. But they think that those jobs will move very quickly across to those others who will fill the breach in the cola market. And we are talking about other manufacturers of indigenous colas. The 1,400 crores is the expected annual loss to these companies, as well as perhaps to the state exchequer. 60% of the Tamil Nadu market share goes to Pepsi. All that will implode, but they feel that at the end of the day, local manufacturer of beverages will step in to fill the breach, which will boost the Tamil economy. Here are some arguments that are being extended on both sides of the fence.
It is a health hazard. I mean, with we see diabetes, obesities and other issue. So cutting down on products like this is very good. And also it's a decision after the Jallikattu protest. It's an awareness about environment which has led to this, because it is leading to depletion of groundwater.
It's just not giving them tablets and medicines. It's a holistic concept of preventive health, promotive health. And so prevention is something which is needed. So a holistic concept of health is where you have health assurances, something where you have good environment, good drinking water, good sanitation, good nutrition, and then a good health care. So this is something where you need a combination of all these things. And for that, we completely support the policy of the traders when they say that they're not going to sell international drink.
Okay, so what really is all of this about? Let's try to put our fingers on the pulse. Let's go straight across up front to MR Venkatesh, political analyst. There's also Satyinand Sarangi, an environmental activist who might buy into the reasons that are being trundled out by some of the politicians there. Mr. MR Venkatesh, are you for the ban or against the ban? And do you believe that this ban has been sparked by the need to keep indigenous products on the shelves to preserve indigenous cultures, traditions, etc. Among them, of course, local beverage manufacturers. In fact, let me first ask Satyinand Sarangi, who is for the ban, this question. Satyinand Sarangi.
Yes, please.
Explain, sir. Why
what
are you
is the
for
question,
this ban?
please?
Why are you for the ban? Why do you believe that Coca Cola and Pepsi should be off the shelves?
Firstly, because it will protect the health and lives of people here. There's enough evidence, scientific evidence and decisions by the Joint Parliamentary Committee that shows that there are harmful chemicals, pesticides, insecticides in both of these products. And secondly, it will help in promoting indigenous drinks that are far healthier. And thirdly, I think this is going to be more effective because the government has failed to follow any of these protections for the people's health. The government has failed to implement the decisions of the JPC. So it is very good that associations, traders associations have brought this up, and they are the ones who are saying we won't sell Pepsi and Coke. I think this is the best way to ensure that such a ban will work.
Health and the need to promote indigenous healthy options is the reason. Okay, Sanjay Pinto,
Yes.
come in on it. Why are you for the ban? Because we know what's going to replace it. There are indigenous colas which perhaps are just as unhealthy and they're going to be marketed.
You know, Queen Maria Antoinette had once said, if there's no bread, eat cakes. Today, are we going to tell our people, if there's no drinking water, drink Coca Cola? I mean, what have we come to? I completely agree with the previous gentleman there. I think it's unhealthy. Tamil Nadu is fast becoming the diabetes capital of the country. Forget even things like pesticides, insecticides, heavy metals and all that. There have been reports submitted. But what about the quantity of sugar in each glass of Coke? I think the state has, first of all, I wouldn't call it a ban, I would call it a boycott. The
okay, but the quantum of sugar, sir, remains the same even in indigenous beverages.
Article 47 of the Constitution, the directive principles of state policy make it incumbent on the state to ensure the nutritional standards and public health of people. If public health is being jeopardized by this 161, if public health is being jeopardized, I am all for this boycott.
Okay.
We've had enough. We've all been brought up from middle-class families on a diet of paneer soda and goli cola. We don't need these kind of things which are unhealthy. I do not give my children these colas. I do not drink these colas.
Suhail Seth. One second, Suman Siraman. 1 second, please. 1 second, 1 second. Let's go orderly, please. Let's not descend into this. 1 minute, sir. I'll come out to you.
Pepsi, which have got
oh, gosh.
11 grams of
why don't you let someone else speak? I'm not asking you the question. You can come back on it.
Grams.
Please, please.
I'm just pointing out the factual error.
Sir, you can point it out when I come to you. Could you please give me 30 seconds to conduct an orderly debate without reducing this to a tutu meme sitting across each other? Could you please give me that? I beg you. Okay, Mr. Suhail Seth. Mr. Suhail Seth, on health grounds, Pepsi and Coke should be thrown off the shelves, boycotted. Your response, what's wrong with that? He says, when there's no water, how can you ask people to drink Coca Cola? It's almost like you're trying to echo Marie Antoinette.
You know, I have a lot of regard for Sanjay Pinto, who I've seen as a worthy television persona. He's now moved into jurisprudence as a lawyer. That's why I worry for him. I think there are two basic issues here. The choice must be left to the consumer. The discussion here is not on nutritional value, because I could argue that a masala dosa is equally fattening. That's not the debate. The debate is, should consumer choice be stymied by protests which have no bearing on reality? Number two, do you want in every state someone to get up and say that, look, I don't like orange juice, so ban orange juice? We are becoming a banana republic. The real issue here, Rahul, is there is a government in place. When I last checked, there is a gentleman who's also in Tamil Nadu in government finally, and he's not Paneer Selvam. There is FSSAI. There are bodies which certify nutritional value. To call Coca Cola and Pepsi multinationals is equally silly. Ola and Uber are greater multinationals, which Sanjay, obviously, because of his newfound status, doesn't need them. So the argument is warped, tenacious, and silly. Let me give you the facts. The traders have said that we don't want to touch Coca Cola and Pepsi because there is a linkage to PETA. PETA is prevention, whatever ethical treatment of animals. The point is that PETA has no linkage to Coca Cola and Pepsi. By that logic, you go and ban Maggi, go and ban Horlicks. Don't take half the medicines you consume in this country. They're all made by multinationals. It's a stupid argument. It's erroneous. Here's my take. I think, as Rahul, you know better than I do, we live in a country that is governed by the rule of law. We have a robust Supreme Court. We have very good judicial intervention processes. We have governments in place which are addressing issues like water and water depletion and water rehabilitation, in a manner of speaking. Let them do their jobs. You and I, sitting in a television studio, can't be the arbitrators on what people in India should consume and they shouldn't consume. Sanjay Pinto, who I told you earlier I have a lot of regard for, would be against a beef ban. But there are a lot of people who say, oh, eating beef is bad.
What would people say?
So my point is,
no,
follow the law, follow the law.
Fair enough, but Suhail said people will say that in America, there is a president called Donald Trump who wants to raise the protectionist barriers, and they will keep out Indians, deprive Indians of livelihoods here, because we know what's going to happen when these big multinationals may not be able to even afford setting up plants anywhere else in the world, etc., etc. But because Indian companies perhaps don't have articulate...
So that's a good point.
No, 1 second. Articulate lobbyists such as you, they can't make that point with equal conviction.
I'm not a lobbyist. I'm a marketing person. I'm not blessed to be a lobbyist. I wish I was. I'd be owning an island in Hawaii. I barely own an apartment in Gurgaon. So let's park my very poor status aside. Having said that, what are you debating? Are you debating protectionism? Do you not want multinationals in this country? Do you not want jobs in this country? The same Chennai that we are talking about, where Sanjay Pinto is being beamed in from, is the Detroit of India. Do they not want the Toyotas? Do they not want the Volkswagens?
Okay.
I mean, it's a ridiculous argument.
Ridiculous
argument. We live in a borderless world.
No.
So have an argument which is tested on the grounds of logic.
Okay.
Then you say, India shuts its doors. Okay. Let's go back to the ambassador and to the Fiat and to the Bajaj, for which we'll have to wait for 6 years.
The Prime Minister says, make in India...
30 seconds.
Rahul,
give me 30 seconds to just
not on the issue of culture,
bring some new information.
Okay, Satyanath Sarangi.
Videshi, Swadeshi.
1 second.
30 seconds, just all I
wants
ask.
to come in for 30 seconds. Allow him 30 seconds. I'll come out to you, other gentlemen. 30 seconds, sir. Yes, 30 seconds.
2 days back, the West Central Railway has announced that they are withdrawing Coca Cola and Pepsi from 300 railway stations. Don't you think that the West Central Railway has sufficient cause and sufficient basis and sufficient evidence to say this, to withdraw Coca Cola and Pepsi from 300 railway stations 2 days back? Mr. Seth?
Let me tell you about the railways. Please, if you allow me to speak. Let me tell you about the railways. And this is a very important point that you've raised. I don't know which gentleman raised it because I can't see everyone.
Go ahead.
The point that you raised has to do with two things. Mr. Sarangi, you're right. It has to do with two things. Most of these railways, depending on the regions where the railways are, they tender. They ask for quotations. Perhaps it has to do more with quotations than with nutrition. A, B.
No,
I don't
they
know
have
for a
said
fact,
what it is for.
But I can hazard a guess.
They have said it's because it's damaging to health.
Mr. Sarangi, Mr. Sarangi, I didn't interrupt you. Mr. Sarangi, I didn't interrupt you. I gave you the respect you deserve. You must reciprocate.
You are speculating. You were saying maybe.
No,
I'm
Mr.
saying
Sarangi,
this is what they have said.
Mr. Sarangi, no. 1 minute.
Okay,
I'm saying I can only, there's a phrase in English, hazard a guess. I use that phrase. All I'm saying is that I wouldn't go by that.
He says he's speaking. No, hang on. Let's not. Okay, 1 second.
Again,
let me come in
interrupting here.
No, gentlemen, 1 second. 1 second. Let me 1 second. I think Suhail Seth, you began by making an important point.
I've given you so much of respect.
No, 1 second. I think Suhail Seth, you began by making a very good point, which was the point about choice. That we're all adults. If there is actually a health problem, drinking Coke and Pepsi, advertise, carry out a campaign, inform the people and let them decide, follow it. Now I want to ask you, M.R. Venkatesh, what is wrong with that, sir? Let choice prevail. Let people decide.
Then why are prohibition in Tamil Nadu? Why shut down Tasmac shops?
Absolutely. Rahul, let me put it two upfront declarations. I don't drink any of these colas for a simple reason. I believe that they are injurious to my health.
Yeah.
Having said that, I also believe that a ban is the most stupid thing to do. And having said that, the third point that I have to make is that the people of Tamil Nadu are not actually banning cola. There is no ban of Coca Cola. There is only an attempted boycott by select traders in selling colas in their shop. That Some people are throwing the bottle, some people are destroying the bottle.
No, a trader's body is imposing.
I have led this
a trader's body is imposing this diktat. That amounts to a ban.
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, there is no free choice. The traders are saying.
No, that is not a ban. That is...
No, I mean, it's only a ban by another name, sir.
Exactly. That is the point I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let us not debate. My English perhaps is poor, but I will tell you, I have led a group of college students. I told the students in Madurai that there are health hazards in drinking cola. And believe me, next day morning in the canteen, they broke the cola's bottles in the college. That is a different thing from making a boycott call by the traders, which I think is not acceptable.
Not acceptable.
Cola companies have every right to
at
exist
the end of
in
the
India
day,
as long
Mr.
as the
Pinto,
government
it's
does not
about
outlaw
choice,
them.
informed
And if they
choice.
outlaw it like drugs,
Mr. Pinto, it's about choice and informed
it's a choice. You have every right.
Can I speak, please?
Yeah.
No, we have every right to inform the youngsters that's a problem. I have led this. Rahul, let me complete. I have led this. I have led this myself. I have held it in the ground level. But at the same time, I respect the cola company's existence. And I respect, all of us must understand, there is a place called Plachimada where one lady called Mailamma led this protest for 20 years before she died. And she fought these things on a very simple ecological line. Unfortunately, after Jallikattu, anything that tries to excite
that's because
people
her well had dried up in Palghat, Kerala. That's because her well had dried up in Palghat, Kerala. It's an important point.
Exactly.
But one second. The point about choice
and 15 days from now
should bubble up to the surface.
15 days from now.
Yeah, well, we should all be getting excited about that. Okay, one second. Let me bring in Suman C. Raman. Suman C. Raman. Yes.
Yeah.
Suman C. Raman.
Yeah. Rahul, can I make... Look, let's look at how illogical this is.
Yeah.
I appeared on a couple of debates with the head of this traders association that has called for this boycott, right? So each time he gave a different reason. The first time he said that we are going to ban it because they are extracting too much of groundwater. And then it was pointed out that to him that, the alternative indigenous brands are also would also be extracting the same quantity of groundwater. Then the second thing he said was these drinks are bad for health. And then we pointed out to him that the alternatives that he was proposing, namely a drink called Bovonto and a few others, which are popular in Tamil Nadu, actually contain more sugar than the Coke and the Pepsi, and they have not been proven to be any safer, any better or any worse than Coke and Pepsi.
Okay.
So that knocked that argument off. Then he said, no, we should only promote Indian companies, we should not promote foreign companies.
Okay.
So I asked him, why are you continuing to stock Aquafina and Kinley, which are the mineral water brands of these same companies?
Rahul.
Why are you continuing to stock all the other products? Why are you continuing with the Maaza or Minute Maid or all the other brands? There is no answer. This whole thing is colossally illogical, but the only saving grace is it's not going to work. So I don't think we really need to be very upset
it's
about
not going to work. Let's not froth over fizz.
Last point, Rahul.
Okay, let's not froth over fizz.
Rahul, on last point.
Yeah.
If you really want to save groundwater,
why are these people getting so much time?
Distilleries. Why not you shut down the distilleries which are supplying Tasmac?
Okay.
Why don't you ask the politicians that?
Big question.
Welcome that.
You want to
It's
save
about
water.
duplicity, double standards, lot of froth over fizz. We have to wrap it up. Gentlemen, we have to wrap it up. We've heard a lot of different points of view.
If my good friend Sumant Raman...
no one is giving us time.
I'm sure he's so trimmed today.
Okay, gentlemen, I've really run out of time. My director is going to... my director is going to just chop us off.
It is a public health hazard.
No, gentlemen, my director is going to impose a ban on me. So I'm going to have to take a quick break at this point. We'll return. I'm sorry, I've really run out of time. Please bear with me.
No, you must allow me to speak. Forget the break.
Sohail said, I've really run out of time, unfortunately. Please, spare me tonight. We will bring you back. This debate is not going to end. Please, I request you. We'll take a short break.